Hey guys, we're back for another hero overview. Today I will be covering another one of the ShadowOps heroes, Piercing Lotus. The new ninja subclass is a spear and affliction-oriented hero. After the last event and its Harvester Ninja, I'm hoping to see the same type of damage output with a little bit of complexity due to the affliction requirements. Before I dig into it, I want to let you all know that I have a growing list of PvE live streamers for those of you who are interested in catching some live action and don't want to spend the time sifting through the directory full of BR streamers. I warn you in advance though, we are a little contagious. Once you meet one of us, you kind of get sucked into our growing community and you will end up meeting a ton of people to hang out with, play with, chat with, whatever. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I'll have the link down below. Now, let's get into it. Okay, here we have Piercing Lotus, the new ShadowOps ninja from the Blockbuster Part 1 event. He is a spear ninja. So last event was it the neon event? Whatever. The last ninja we had was the Harvester, right? And the Harvester brought out scythe gameplay, since we didn't have anybody that could really utilize scythes. And it ended up being really strong. So this is another new ninja that's utilizing spears, and we don't have anybody that nothing utilizes spears, including support and tactical. There's nothing. Spears are, I don't even understand what they are. They're not edged weapon, they're not blunt weapon. We'll get into that in a second, though. But anyway, so, like all ninjas at level 1, he gets Shinobi, which reduces fall damage taken by 10%, increases run and sprint speed by 10%. He also gets Throwing Stars at level 1. Level 2, you get Mantis Sleep, which costs 20 energy. It's basically a double jump. For those of you that are new-ish to the game, you missed out because back in the day, sprinting consumed your energy and Mantis Sleep actually cost 50 energy. You have 100 energy in your energy bar. So if you were running around fighting and you needed to jump, double jump, get away, nope, not going to happen. So there's been quite a bit of quality of life changes for mobility with the ninjas. They still need some more love in the damage department, but mobility-wise and effectiveness of their energy consumption has been greatly improved over the last couple months. Moving on. Level 5, you get Corrosive Stars. Throwing Stars afflict their targets, doing 25% of the Throwing Star damage every 3 seconds for 6 seconds. The effect can stack up to 3 times. There's a couple things we're going to come back and touch base on the Corrosive Stars in a second. At 8, you get Poking Holes. The ninja deals 28% more damage with spears to afflicted targets. So that's why Corrosive Stars is on this ninja. So you can afflict your target for 6 seconds, run up, and then get 28% damage with your spear. Now, if your spear applies affliction as well, that's always good. But if you don't, then you're going to apply affliction from Corrosive Stars. At 2-star evolution, you get Smoke Bomb. At level 12, you get Shadow Stance. And this got a rework also in this update, I think mainly for this hero. So after defeating an enemy with a melee weapon, that was changed. That was never the wording. It only worked off of edged damage. So swords, axes, and scythes. Now it works with all melee. So you could even use a hammer or a bat. But they did that so that the spears would be included, because for some reason spears have never been included in edged weapons. For those of you that don't know what Shadow Stance does, during Shadow Stance, damage resistance is increased by 15%, and your Mantis Sleep costs 60% less energy. Now you see me at level 15. The ninja uses the distracting effects of Smoke Bomb to enter Shadow Stance. So now instead of just killing something to trigger Shadow Stance, you can pop Smoke Bomb and then activate Shadow Stance. At level 18, you get Pointing Fury. This is another rework of rewording in the game, and it hasn't been consistent across the board. So increases spear combo attack efficiency by 150%. This is new wording. Basically what this is, for those veterans that don't read patch notes, this means they have changed heavy attack to combo attack, but not across the board. Only in some of these perks does it say combo attack now. If you go look at your weapons and things, it still says heavy attack. So heavy attack and combo attack are the same. And what the efficiency is, it reduces the energy use. So basically it costs less energy to use now, but it's 150% more efficient. Anyways, moving on. 3-star evolution, you get Crescent Kick for stunning your targets, also doing some damage. And then at level 25, you get Piercing Stars. Throwing Stars pierce through the target up to 3 targets. And then level 30, Fan of Stars. The ninja throws 2 additional stars, but it's an arc now. So this is a little wonky. I'll go over this really briefly. I said I'd go back to it. So Corrosive Stars isn't new for this character. It's been around and other ninjas have it. But it's kind of wonky on this character because the effect of Corrosive Stars stacks up 3 times. This ninja throws all of its stars in one throw, but in an arc. So it spreads out. They fan out in an angle, right? The other ninjas, they throw 3 of them back to back, so 1, 2, and 3. So if you hit your target with Corrosive Stars on any other ninja, you can stack it 3 times. You cannot stack these on this character, so it's kind of a wasted. The only reason you're using Corrosive Stars is to apply affliction, but you're not benefiting from the actual bonus of the stackable damage. The cooldown, the affliction lasts for 6 seconds, and your cooldown on your stars is 6 seconds as well. So you can't even reapply it. So that's kind of wasted on this hero. They should have kept the ninja stars, in my opinion, the same instead of fanning it out. But since it's a spear ninja, you're going to be doing wide swings. The idea is to get in close, throw your ninja stars out to afflict everything in front of you, and then go in, aggro everything on, and wide swing. This character does bring a new support bonus, though, called Heaviest Attacks, which increases combo attack, aka heavy attack, damage by 30%. So this will work good with this character who's going to be trying to use its heavy attack a lot, and then another ninja like Assassin who promotes the use of heavy attacks as well. Since you're using spears, there's no support bonus that benefits or that buffs spears. I played around with, just to see if maybe there was a bug, I played around with the 5 Winds Cut, which increases sword, axes, and scythe damage. It didn't work. I played around with maybe the blunt melee damage. That didn't work. I even tried running around with the crit chance from sword, axe, and scythe, crit chance from blunt melee, crit damage. I tried them all. I tried everything just to see if maybe scythe or spears were somewhere mixed into it. So then, since you can't get extra damage, you could run another one of the same ninja to get your heavy attack, combo attack bonus damage. I'm running Flash, which gives me 24% extra damage for stun, stagger, and knock down, because your combo attacks, aka heavy attacks, typically knock enemies backwards. I'm also running Survivalist from Master Mythic, because any ability and any weapon kill will trigger a heal over time. I tried using Hardy Strikes from the holiday event, the Alchemist, which is every 4th hit triggers a heal, an instant heal. So the idea of this is, and it does trigger, so if you have 4 or 5 munchkins on you, a wide swing was going to hit 4 of them guaranteed, so you're going to get a heal every swing. The issue is that because I tried both of them, the issue was when I had 4 or more targets on me, I was taking damage faster than I could heal. Whereas the heal over time effect can be triggered from abilities. So if your affliction kills stuff, your ranged weapon, like your spear, your stars will trigger it as well. You could run things like Sneaky from the Mythic Outlander, where your Shadow Stance increases your movement speed, so you're not having to chase things down as much. A lot of people that played Ninja also like Mega Base's support, which when you pop Smoke Bomb, it restores your shield to full. You don't get Smoke Bomb very often, but you can get full shield instantly. So that's another one people like to use. So there's really not... So damage, you do have one damage option. You could add corrosion. So your critical hits with melee weapons cause corrosion, which will also trigger things that so if you have a perk, like for instance he has a perk that you do 28% more damage if they're afflicted. Corrosion is not affliction, but it's a damage over time, and perks that trigger off of affliction will also trigger off of corrosion. It also snares them, their movement speed by 30% during that 3 seconds. So that's a good tactical also for damage and CC and for triggering other perks. But we're gonna run heal. We're gonna run heal for now. Okay, so I'm using a sword. I'm using a spear. I'm using a spear gaze. Just like any of the two-handed weapons. Two-handed. I'm a Warcraft player. The axes, scythes, and spears, they all have the same basic attack style swing. There's just different speeds to it. The two main heavy attacks. You have an overhead on some spears, but the majority of them have this AoE spin. And with the efficiency of his perk, this one only costs, God, 16 energy. So then Crescent Kick will cost you 30 and have a 10-second cooldown. It's also a 180-degree arc effect range, usually about a tile out. Not even a tile, probably half a tile. Yeah, half a tile. So if you have something right here, you're going to hit it. If something's out there at that tile, you're not going to hit it with Crescent Kick. Throwing stars now, you'll notice it's a spread like a fan. Instead of 3 in a row in a straight line. They have a 6-second cooldown and they cost 30 as well. Smoke Bomb.
Smoke Bomb.
Costs 40 and has a minute cooldown. And again, it triggers your Shadow Stance. Remember, while in Shadow Stance, you take reduced damage, and your Mantis Sleeps cost less. But Mantis Sleeps are so dirt cheap now anyways. They cost 20. That's your Mantis Sleep. Double jump. Bink. So the idea of this character is you throw your shurikens, and then you come in, and you heavy attack everything. These are fatties, so I'm just going to Crescent Kick him to stun him. Open him out of energy. Now, I'll show you the stats on my spear. So I'm cheesing a little bit because my spear actually causes affliction. But normally you'd be throwing stars more frequently. You could also come in, drop Smoke Bomb, spin. And since I'm running Flash, I want to be Crescent Kicking a little more often also to apply that stun. There's also another support bonus, now that I'm thinking about it, where you can apply affliction damage with your Crescent Kick as well. So you could run that so you could always have your 28% uptime.
There it is. Time to shut it down, Commander. Deploy the armory and the launcher.
Come in, hit him a couple times. We'll just... So you can knock him back. Swing. There's this. He's standing back up, so that 24% for my Flash Outlander support bonus. Oh, he died. So now he's afflicted, so I do extra damage. That was a crit. 8,000. 15, but that was a crit also. So you do more when they're afflicted. Just keep that in mind. So you always want to be throwing your ninja stars. Unfortunately, you're not benefiting from the full effect of Corrosive Stars because they throw in a arc instead of a straight line. So you can't get the 3 stacks like I mentioned earlier. And then if you're running Flash as your support spot, then your stuns will allow you to get more damage. Also, your heavy attacks knock things down, so you can go get 1 or 2 hits. Now here's where the ninja, sadly, unlike last event's Harvester, doesn't do any damage. It's one of the weakest ninjas, in all honesty.
They smash it.
Let's go and afflict it.
Yo, smash it. You're messing with the wrong
Wait for
board.
him to jump. He's not going to jump? Alright, never mind.
Nothing first.
You got to be careful with your heavy attacks on the smashers because sometimes when you initiate your heavy attack, he'll jump and then cancel out your attack and hit you. So you try to wait for him to jump and do the ground pound, and the moment he lands is when you trigger your heavy attack. Or you can stay on his left and right, which will... He only jumps typically if you're behind him. So if you're still in the line of sight of him, he'll usually do his overhead, which you can sidestep to the side and dodge. See what else. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple character. It's one of the first heroes that in my opinion is super dependent on your support and tactical bonuses. So you're trying to figure out ways of play. You're gonna change your perks on your weapons, especially when perk rerolling comes, so you can start triggering more of these effects. And then you're gonna support. I mean, you're gonna slot your supports and tacticals instead of damage. You're trying to acquire the situational stuff like the stuns or the corrosion. So yeah, it's a little weird. And again, it doesn't have any kind of damage stacks besides just that 28% against afflicted targets. And so I'm running flash for the stun, which is not a normal setup for this hero. That's just so another way for me to get damage out of this weaker ninja. You could also run Shuriken Master. Most people would run Shuriken Master in support slot for ability damage. I also tested that to see if ability damage applied to the combo attack, aka heavy attack. It doesn't, unfortunately, because that would have been best in slot then. So you could get more heavy attack and your abilities would do more damage. Not really a huge fan of this ninja, if I'm going to be totally honest. Overall, it's probably one of the weakest ninjas. The lack of love for spears in the game really hurts it. There are no support bonuses for spears whatsoever, and the ninja stars have a great concept for afflicting multiple targets, but you're not stacking the damage that Corrosive Stars actually offers. Maybe if spears were included in the 5 wins cut support bonus, which is sword, scythe, and axe damage, and if it had this perk by default as well, then you could stack double 5 wins cuts for extra spear damage. Or maybe if spears were actually this super strong, slow swinging weapon, it would be more viable. But they're not. At the end of the day, they're just no different than a scythe or a sword. So for some reason, the spears are the black sheep of all the weapons in the game. They're not included in any bonus or perk except for this new hero's new perk that increases spear damage to afflicted targets. They're not even edged weapons, but I said that earlier. So they're just wonky. They're out of place. So I was really hoping for maybe a spear rework or making spears edged or making them included in all of the weapon perks that ninjas utilize, like the assassination perks. Anything that applies edged weapon should also apply to a spear, but it doesn't. So it's a little wonky. I like the fact that they tried to bring a use for spears into the game, but honestly, it was too lackluster, for me at least. Anyway, that's it for this one. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye now.